What's going on, guys? This is the second round that I was having with my team. This is my opponent. He uses the Jwong team, so this is Wolverine Storm Akuma. His nickname is the Chef. That's what he likes to be called. Not only because he likes to cook, but that is, honestly, it is a pretty sick name for being part of a game. Now, one of the things that happens is, anytime you're watching a stream where you're seeing guys or a team who've obviously played each other a lot of times, and, the way the matches look, they look much more interesting, right? Because not only much more interesting, but you're gonna say to yourself, why is some of this stuff working when it shouldn't even be working? Like, you would have assumed, like, why didn't he block this way right, or why didn't he block that way right? Well, a lot of things that some people might see is, we know each other's weaknesses, and so our goal is to exploit that as fast as possible, and that's kind of like what kind of direction these matches going, because a lot of times we play each other so much, and you expect certain things, you expect certain patterns, you expect certain bad habits, good habits, and all that. But one of the best things we have is, like, when you go back and start watching yourself. I don't know if any of you have the opportunity to do that, but one of the things that are so hard to do is watch your bad habits and kind of go back to it and kind of correct yourself. And to be honest with you, what happened just there was something good. Like, there I just screwed up my quick work combo. Luckily I had enough meter to anti-punish. But one of the biggest things is, like, Deadpool's quick work, I always like to say, it's one of the best moves in the game. I wish Deadpool had more than just that. But the quick work is extremely, not only when you have setups like that. Like that setup is honestly an unblockable when Nova has damage. He's not going to break the shield, so I can take a hit. I'm going to run into the shield anyways. The guy has to instant launch, which is not really going to happen because the quick work's coming out. But that overhead against small characters, extremely useful, because, okay, sure, you're blocking the right way, but guess what? Now you're just blocking towards it, which is what happened there. Small characters, Wolverine, he can't avoid that in any way possible. But right here, biggest mistake. But then I didn't. It tripped me out that Akuma came out. I wasn't even expecting Akuma, and I realized I made the mistake here that I did not need to DHC. I didn't have a third meter to get into Nova to protect myself from the crazy dive kick, and then of course this triple combo is insane, man. Like, Deadpool that always happens. It always happens every time playing a Wolverine. The instant combo into death, and no X factor needed. I didn't even predict the time right to come in to bring it into the game. But definitely, one of those simple strategies that you see anybody doing, just tap light punch, screw up their fly cancel, because they want to try to dash or do a fly cancel. Just tap it in. It's honestly one of the best things you can do. And so at this point in the match, I'm extremely comfortable because, that setup is so ambiguous. The whole Nova jumping and canceling. And at this point, I'm like, let me see if he remembers this. But it is extremely safe. Doom is extremely safe after that, and it's so easy to exploit. It's so cheap, but it is what it is. This game is cheap. What are you gonna do? Nothing any of us can do about it now. But I hate, see that point. It is extremely possible to do a proper teleport. You always gotta wait, because the Chimichangas, when you hit that second sword, it's like an unlimited, like the opponent is gonna be at an unlimited. He's gonna be flying back all the way, so you gotta let him land. If you don't let him land, you can't teleport behind him. And at this point, I was slapping myself in the head because I couldn't believe that Wolverine's living by a thread, And so luckily, he tried to do I was expecting it. If he didn't jump, so I was expecting Akuma to come out to do a little back and forth type of mix-up. But at this point, luckily for me, I got the match back into my favor, because any combo that Doom's gonna do and lock you into the corner, you're gonna die. There's nothing you can do about it. Doom is just insane like that. And another one of those setups where I do a light punch dash, and I tried to go for my unblockable setup because he doesn't have an air dash or anything like that. And I was just a frame too late, and I was almost able to kill him with that. But luckily for him, at least for him, he didn't have anything to worry about when it came to the unblockable, and it was coming. Not the easiest setup to do, but if you're gonna use any of Nova's assist, you're gonna use that one. You want to have it for the reason. So one of the things that I just did there actually was the quick work, right? Because if you can land heavy quick work, and get it from under them, you're going to land behind them. That is, you're going to do over 1 million damage and you will kill if you can manage to do it, right? It's extremely possible. And at this point, I couldn't believe myself that I didn't land blocking. I must have tried to do another ninja extremely quick, but when I got this, I'm like, oh Jesus, man! I hate that combo because this is one of the kryptonites. You know, it's like when I'm playing against him, it usually goes this way. You know, if Wolverine takes out my Deadpool, the match usually goes his way, because honestly, well then again, any of you ever fight a Wolverine team, if Wolverine takes out your main character, it doesn't matter whether you survive the next combo or not. If you only have one character left and you've been at a disadvantage, it's so hard to come back, so hard to come back. But this guy, he hates my Deadpool. My Deadpool is his kryptonite. It doesn't matter what other character I'm using. Deadpool makes him go insane, and you know, one of the reasons is there's all of us are the same type. All of us are certain players, right? I mean, whether if you're a crazy offensive, if you're a crazy offensive, like you see what just happened? I couldn't believe I called Doom, and I'm just like, oh man, this is terrible.
Yeah, no.
And so I was expecting the medium tornado. That's why I was waiting. I wasn't expecting the heavy one again, because it did it 3 times. I wasn't expecting it, so you gotta always have that little form of unpredictability. And right there, that was my mix-up. I was supposed to grab him, but he grabbed me, and I'm like, no. Like this combo, man, it's like rinse and repeat. You know, the X factor after the trip is just instant death. There's nothing you can do about it. You're screwed. And if any of you don't know, just turn into Justin Wong and just search what happens when he does that. And one thing I noticed, I don't know if you just noticed that. Did you see how long Akuma was on the ground? I couldn't believe it. I'm like, why did I OTG Akuma? He had nothing to. He was down. And so when that happened, I'm like, oh, this match, it's okay. I lost my Deadpool, but I just completely got him. And at that point, there's nothing he can do about this. Even though we're both choking like crazy, and I hate when that happens.
Take it.
X Factor, 2 characters in Storm alone. Without X Factor, the amount of damage she's capable of doing, you know, never know. You can make a comeback, but if you ever see people using her, it is extremely difficult to do with Storm on your own. And at this point, I'm like, that was a mistake, because you should not do another Storm Hyper if you're that close. You know, at that point, when you have little health, I guess it's a common rule against any player in this game, any character in the game. You just don't give them room to breathe. If you're gonna kill them, you might as well just go ahead and kill them. But with Storm, you know, her supers aren't even that fast. You can actually, you could just dash and grab. But while I'm talking about this, of course, the one grab into the Wolverine combo is an instant death, which completely sucks. And I couldn't believe I didn't grab there. I was extremely shocked I didn't grab there, but I got, luckily I got at least one missile off to deter him. And, you know, one of the crazy things is, like, you know, when Doom is in the corner, shooting a missile, you know, a lot of people say that hidden missiles aren't that great, because if you know, you can use it to deter the opponent to try to scare them, but if you're not in the corner, all they gotta do is dash away, and they kind of launch you, and you dodge the missile. But when Doom's in the corner, the missile, no matter what, it's just coming straight down like an arrow. So there's actually nothing you can do to stop it. And at that point, as you can see what I was doing, I mean, like, I know that, well, what is Storm really gonna do? I mean, I want her to come to the sky. I don't want her to be under me. And she's got no health to lose. She can't afford to lose any health. And so at this point, I was like, oh shit, he actually did a snapback, but caught by the air grab. And
sort of, but I mean,
although I can't kill him,
you weren't under that much pressure.
The fact that we both ran out of X Factor, I can go for this at least. And I'm trying to get down the infinite correctly, but at this point, I'm like, why the hell would I want to try that when I can just do a level 3?
Yeah, but it's
I know it does look good, but you have 4.5 meters. Why the hell would you need to do
a good
I don't see there's any point to
like
even do an infinite.
And
Dr. Doom is actually one of those characters that
what do you have left?
doing an infinite is actually kind of insane, because most of the time you can actually just kill the character. But there are times when I choose to do it, and of course I was choosing to do it in these matches. But when it comes to Doom, I don't even think it's necessary, because you can just get the kill, and you might as well get the kill. Now the reason why I deterred not to use my hyper there is because I didn't want to have to use 3 meters and get into a situation where because when Doom is second, you know, you can't turn into Doom as a support hyper because he doesn't have the best hyper. It actually shoots you off, so I wouldn't have been able to kill. And I don't like being in those situations where, you know, I burn meter and I'm not even in a better situation. When I burn meter, you want to go for the kill. If you're not going for the kill, it's kind of a situation like this where you have a chance. You're in the offense. You know, I went for the grab, and it's so hard for my teammate to dodge it because, I mean, what are you gonna do? Obviously, you can expect the grab. You can expect the grab, but you know, even if I missed or if the opponent missed, you're gonna tech and then you're just gonna do a hyper because Storm can't do anything about it. So at that point, these are situations when the Justin Wong team kind of grows weak. But I mean, any character that doesn't have a proper air dash is gonna grow weak like that. But specifically with these teams, because if Wolverine's out, you know, your primary damage is out of there now. And with Storm, you know, you have to be extremely technical. And one of the most important things that we take here is that, you know, take a look back at these matches and kind of see exactly what was the most, like, you know, important thing. But when looking at this matchup right now, right? So I see Wolverine with such little health. Once I get rid of this Wolverine, the fact that I have this many projectiles, it just makes it, you know, extremely simple for me to just end the game. And that's because Storm has such little opportunity to get in, especially like a turtle. But here, again, living by the thread, that's where I need to go and do my little, you know, kind of remind myself that just burn the meter when if you're gonna get the kill and you know it's just one thread, just go for the kill. And at that point, when he choked his super, I was like, you know, you're gonna regret doing that because you could have got rid of Deadpool, and Deadpool's gonna be your he's gonna smoke you now. And that was supposed to be an unblockable. There was actually no way for him to get out of that because even if he got out of it, I would have been able to quick work. So in that situation, he's kind of screwed. There's not really much you can do about it.
Oh yeah, you saw that glitch,
but
right?
Again, those Wolverine punishes, it was the fact that I can get smoked by Wolverines that easy that actually deterred me to make sure I have a backup for this character against this character. Because when you get poked by a grab and you actually die losing that character, it's so hard to maintain and just say to yourself, you know, I'm just gonna stick with this team, because if your weakness is literally an air grab into anything, you want to make sure you have a lot more mobility options that when he grabs you or whatever, okay, sure, he's going to force the X Factor, but you want to at least have more defensive options rather than just hope that he's not going to hit. And so that's one of the things that I've done, and I kind of tried to train myself, especially through the years playing this game. I don't know about for you guys, but
all I had to do was do nothing.
You know, if you ever have an opportunity to watch yourself or play, you'll learn a lot. And I hope you guys enjoyed these matches. Check back soon for more.